What's a sign that someone is failing as a parent? No self-accountability and projecting internal problems and insecurities upon their kids. My adult children have broken off contact with me. When their kids walk on eggshells around them, this includes parents who think their child is perfect and never wrong, making their child fear admitting to them that they need help or made mistakes. They find ways to blame the kid a lot more than themselves. When the kids have to be the parent. Mom, did you pay this month's rent? Or Mom, you have to get up. It's 6:30. You have to go to work. That's too much for a child to handle. They skip the fun years because the parent simply isn't equipped to deal with responsibility. When children are too scared to talk to their parents. When their kids hide every single thing from their parents. I remember hiding so much from my parents, and I still do. As someone who works in education, when I tell you your kid did something at school, and you won't stop yelling at me and telling me there's no way, I'm making a mistake, etc., I consider you not a good parent. Your kid can sometimes have a bad day, and it's okay, just talk with your child about it. Discipline is necessary too. It's not because you discipline your kid that they won't love you anymore. It is key in their education development. When they post every single thing about their child medical, behavioral, dietary, etc., onto social media for their own benefit, and with no consideration of their child's privacy or how it may impact them in the future. Monetizing your child on social media. Never following through with threats of punishment consequences. When their kids completely distance themselves when they leave the home and want no contact is a telltale sign. Treating their kid as a personal therapist. I've seen kids hurt themselves or pretend to for attention from their parents who are just on their phone the whole time. It's heartbreaking. When the respect you see their kids show them is based on fear rather than love. When parents are always telling their kids they aren't at fault, someone else is at fault. As an educator, I've seen few kids truly fail at life. Those that do more often than not had parents who always told them that someone else is at fault. Beat up another kid? They provoked my precious angel. What was he supposed to do? Bad grades? The teacher didn't do a good enough job teaching him, etc. Emotional negligence is a big one. A lot of people think they're a great parent if they don't physically abuse their kid, but emotional abuse or negligence is equally harmful. When everything is always about them and they don't give a shit about their children's mental health. Playing favorites. Not acknowledging their child's emotions. Dismissing anybody with "you're overreacting" or "no, you're not" is shitty behavior in general. It starts to get damaging if it's coming from a parent to their child. They refuse to admit that their child can make poor choices. Blame everyone else but their kid. I will say the most obvious, yet extremely important thing when parents violently hit their children. When the kids are consistently filthy and smell bad. 4 or 5-year-olds still wearing diapers. Had a parent complain that their kid had to take breathing treatments at home, but they smoked inside, had dog and cat pee and feces everywhere, and trash overfilling the can. You set your kids up for a rough time in school when you can smell the family from a mile away. There's a difference in a messy home versus a dirty home. When a parent blames the child, calls them names, etc., can't talk to a parent, has to walk on eggshells around them, and has trouble having healthy relationships with friends or making friends. Their child became bullies. That they aren't looking for ways to improve and learn and get better as their own people or as parents. They stagnate, do whatever is easiest, no matter how bad it is for themselves or their family unit, and completely disengage from responsibility. And please note, that's just a sign that they're currently failing as a parent, not that they're bad or failing as people. If their concern about their child's misbehavior is, everyone's going to see that and think I'm a bad parent, they have the wrong mindset, at the very least. When their kid is failing all their classes, and instead of helping them with their studies, getting them a tutor, or punishing them for not doing any work, they threaten to sue the school. When their adult children go no contact for no reason. When you would confide in literally anyone else before confiding in your parent. When the child has no ability to be resilient trying something new, overcoming small challenges, delaying gratification to do a task chore, accept no or other boundaries without a meltdown, etc. That's when I know that parenting hasn't been effective. When you prefer one child above the other, treat him better, give him all he needs, and totally neglect the other. I never even wanted kids followed by putting their boyfriend or partner long before the needs of the children. Saw a kid in work today who was huge. Not body shaming, but if your 10-year-old child clearly weighs more than me, a fully grown man in his mid-20s, you failed your child. Not bothering to actually correct misbehaving, following the mantra of not telling their child no going. The parent sees their primary job as making their kid happy. If you are properly parenting, sometimes they will be disappointed or upset. You say no to something, they don't get the latest toy. You don't do things for them that they can do themselves. They don't get everything they want the moment they want it. To parent well means you're a leader. You guide and teach values, and you try to help them become successful and independent. In the process of getting to those goals, there will be plenty of opportunities for happiness along the way. They parentify their kids, they use them as a surrogate partner, either emotionally and or practically, having them raise younger siblings. When the kid starts thinking they'll never have their own kids when they grow up, they have this fear of being even slightly similar to how their parents are. I was like 8 when I decided I'll never have my own kids someday. When the kid doesn't want to share anything new with their parent. When kids run wild. In my job, I see everything from polite kids to the awful, thieving, abusive, antisocial little chavs. If your kid is stealing from stores, abusing workers, smashing things up, vaping, smoking, and underage drinking, throwing things around in the street, and leaving trash in the street, you've absolutely failed as a parent, and are like also a shitty human being. The parents are cunts and so are the kids.